The battle for Los Angeles is only getting crazier and crazier, and it's funny because last year we had a brand new element introduced to it when the Los Angeles Clippers went out and traded for Marcus Morris, who at the time was averaging like 19 points per game for the New York Knicks. And the Los Angeles Lakers decided to counter by signing Markieff Morris. And while Marcus Morris grabbed headlines for some very interesting defensive tactics during the NBA playoffs last year, Markieff Morris played a fairly significant role in the Los Angeles Lakers' pursuit for their latest championship. So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here. Before we get to the content, I just wanted to let you know your boy is celebrating his birthday today, and honestly, I don't like making a big commotion out of it. I just wanted to tell you guys the number one thing I'm thankful for is this job. I was literally thinking about it as I was falling asleep last night, that every single day of my life literally feels like a celebration when I am creating content for you guys full-time on this channel, on my NFL channel Microphone, and hopefully on my new gaming channel TheFlightMike TV. So I just want to take some time to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And if you just want to give me a birthday present, all I really want is you to like this video, subscribe, and if you really happen to decide to mess with me, turn on my notifications. If you want to go on Instagram to further support me, or check out our channel membership program to support me directly, that'd be great as well. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers are clearly in an arms race for who is the best team in the Western Conference. And as a Laker fan, which a lot of you guys think I am like some sort of closet Laker fan because I wore a Golden State Warriors outfit to my 1v1 versus Flight Reacts, and whenever Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted out that Serge Ibaka is joining the Clippers, I happened to tweet out that it was a W. I am truly a Laker fan. It's just I feel like there's so many biased Laker fans out there that you guys deserve a Laker fan that looks at each and every angle and compliments teams on good moves that they make. So to give you guys a little bit of a storyline about how this went down, the Lakers weren't guaranteed to re-sign Markieff Morris because the Los Angeles Clippers and the Los Angeles Lakers were both attempting to sign Markieff Morris in free agency. And for you guys that want to understand how that entire saga unfolded, Markieff Morris decided to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers in February after being bought out by the Detroit Pistons. Marcus Morris signed a 4-year contract with the Clippers last week. Now, you're going to get an idea of how different both brothers decided to take their careers, because the Lakers obviously are absolutely cap-strapped. They went out and they signed Montrezl Harrell, who decided to leave the Clippers for the Los Angeles Lakers. They had to trade JaVale McGee just to give Marc Gasol a 2-year, $2.5 million contract, something around the parameters of that. The Clippers decided to fire back at the Lakers by signing Serge Ibaka, who in my opinion is a better player and a better fit for the Clippers, who also has chemistry with Kawhi Leonard and brings defense in addition to an ability to stretch the floor. The Lakers traded Danny Green and also added Wesley Matthews and let Dwight Howard walk, and we're going to do a video recapping all of this. I just want to let you guys know where we're at. And obviously the Clippers flirted with the possibility of bringing Markieff Morris along to play with his brother once again. That's not the route that Markieff Morris wanted to take, though, because while Marcus Morris signed a 4-year, $64 million contract to stay with the Los Angeles Clippers, the Los Angeles Lakers were able to get Markieff Morris to come back to their roster for a veteran minimum contract. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, according to Bam Bam Shams Charania, free agent Markieff Morris has agreed to a minimum deal to return to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, it's a 1-year minimum deal to return to the Los Angeles Lakers. And, well, here's what Markieff Morris had to say on Twitter. It was a very long and drawn-out speech and a pretty long tangent, but I'll try to summarize it as much as I could. Markieff Morris tweeted out, "Run it back, #Lake Show." Now, here's what's interesting about everything here. Markieff Morris and Marcus Morris actually have a joint bank account from the days that they played together on the Phoenix Suns, and I guess maybe even going all the way back to when they were playing together in Kansas almost a decade ago. But look at this exchange they had on Twitter. You see, Marcus Morris tweeted out saying that 6'4" will look great in that joint bank account. Double up at Keith Morris. And Markieff Morris responded by saying, best believe it's a double up, H Wood. I'ma get this second chip, then it's on. So pretty much Markieff Morris wants one more championship, and then he's going to make a little bit of a better contribution to the joint bank account that both of these twins have. I personally feel like that's a very interesting way to accumulate wealth, and I think it's actually really touching to see that both of these brothers support each other this much. So to catch you guys up, this is what the Los Angeles Lakers rotation currently is looking like, and we'll compare it to the Los Angeles Clippers rotation in just a second. But the Lakers have LeBron James. They acquired Wesley Matthews for a very, very cheap deal. By the way, we ran the statistics between Wesley Matthews and Danny Green. They are practically the same player, only we're paying Wesley Matthews a fraction of what Danny Green's getting paid. Danny Green was getting paid 1 year, $15 million on his contract. Wesley Matthews is literally getting paid like $3 million this year, had the same 3-point shooting percentage last year, the same player efficiency rating, the same defensive rating. Probably my favorite and most underrated signing of this offseason, but I digress because we have Wesley Matthews. We recently signed Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to a 3-year, $40 million contract using our bird right. So really, we didn't have to use any cap space for this signing. It's like free money that's given to us to reward a player that's been with us for 3 years long. That's what bird rights are, if you guys didn't know. We have Anthony Davis, of course, who still has yet to officially re-sign with us, but you know, it's kind of the writing's on the wall for that. We recently got Marc Gasol. We went out and traded for Dennis Schroeder. We got Kyle Kuzma, who we may trade this year because he's going to be on an expiring contract. He's a restricted free agent. I expect some team to overpay him next year, and the Lakers aren't going to match that contract. We just went out and got Montrezl Harrell on a 2-year, $19 million contract. We signed Markieff Morris on a 1-year veteran minimum. We still got our dude Alex Caruso. We went out and traded for Jordan Bell and Alfonso McKinney. Honestly, I don't expect Jordan Bell and Alfonso McKinney to get a lot of minutes. Jordan Bell for his career got about 10 to 12 minutes per game. He didn't really fill out the stat sheet either, but hey, he's a good high energy player that could potentially bring some defense and could definitely fill a role on a team should someone ever go down. The Los Angeles Clippers, on the other hand, are bringing back Patrick Beverley, Amir Coffey, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Joakim Noah, Terrence Mann, Justin Patton, Lou Williams, and Ivica Zubac. Now, they made some phenomenal moves that I feel like we're sleeping on. They got themselves a remarkable shooter via a trade in bringing in Luke Kennard on from Detroit. I feel like that's a phenomenal piece because shooting is at a premium in the NBA. They obviously brought back Marcus Morris on a 4-year, $64 million contract. They got Serge Ibaka in the offseason as well. But for the most part, the sense I'm getting around the league here is if a player has to choose between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers, typically they're going to be going for the Lakers, even though it means they might have to take a pay cut. We saw that happen with Markieff Morris. The Clippers also were pursuing Marc Gasol. According to Mark Stein, Marc Gasol chose the Lakers over the Clippers. The Lakers were trying to pursue Serge Ibaka, and Ibaka chose the Clippers over the Lakers, but I'm assuming the reason he did that was familiarity with Kawhi Leonard was already there. So if you ask me who's currently winning the Battle of Los Angeles, well, in terms of star players that want to play for one franchise over the other, the Lakers currently have the upper hand. But also, in the Clippers' defense, the Lakers won the NBA championship. The Clippers are kind of notorious for having a meltdown in the playoffs. So obviously, this isn't going to last forever. This could be subject to change down the line. And I'm really interested in seeing who's going to win the Battle of Los Angeles this year. So let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Who do you think has the better roster so far? Is it the Lakers or the Clippers? We're going to be doing a recap of the entire Battle of Los Angeles for the offseason in our next video because this video is primarily focused on Markieff Morris. But I want to get your opinion in the comment section down below, and I'm going to be featuring your comments in that next video as well. Also, if you made it to the end of the video, I don't know if you guys heard, I got banned on Twitch. So if you want to go to the description down below, click on the link to kind of like help support me getting my Twitch account back via Twitter. I'd greatly appreciate that. Aside from that, I'm your boy, TheFlightMike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.